Hello, welcome to Moora. I'm out in the veggie garden at the moment. We've got a little bit of a work day happening here, and we thought it'd be a nice way to introduce you to the place and the land. I'd like to acknowledge that we're on the land of the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people and thank them for allowing us to be custodians of this land while we are here. This is where the raven sat on the tree on the top of Mount Tulbiwong. So here we are in the garden with a beautiful bunch of people planting food for the community. Hi, I'd like to introduce you to Yin. Yin has been living up here for a few years and has recently purchased a house and ready to transform it into an amazing, sustainable house. And Yin also runs decolonising workshops and has a lot of wisdom in that area.
Thanks, Jels.
That's all right.
So yeah, I moved to Moora in 2020 and I just wanted to, as a Wakaya man, I wanted to acknowledge that Moora is on the country of my brothers and sisters, the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung peoples of the Kulin Nations, who have been traditional custodians of this land for many thousands of years, and we're very grateful for their care, and we strive to care for country in the best way that we can while we live here on this land.
So what brought you to Moora, and yeah, what are you getting from it, and what area do you want to give?
Well, I'm really interested in community, and I think that we don't get enough of that in the suburbs of the cities of today. So I moved here to be closer to, more intimate with other people and with other life, and to be more self-sufficient, growing food and being off-grid as we are here. So it's a kind of a connection, solidarity, intimacy sort of feel for me here, and we have a lot of interactions, positive, joyful, cooperative activities that we get up to here, and that's what makes it all worthwhile for me.
Do you want to say a little about your plan for what you're planning with your house?
Well, with the house, I just wanted to, it's sort of renovations, mostly about fireproofing. You know, one of the dangers here is fire, so making the place more resilient to fire and expanding some parts of it. And because my house comes in, it's what they call in Europe an exploded house. It comes in three
Exploded.
parts. Yeah.
Deconstructed.
Yeah, it's 3 buildings, so making each building a bit more kind of contained as well. Yeah, just stuff like that. Yeah.
I'd like to introduce you to Amy, and Amy and I have lived here together for a very long time. She's like a very old sister to me, and she's here with her babies.
Yeah, these are some pumpkin seedlings that Chelsea started here, and we're planting them out in the garden today. It's beautiful weather for it, not too sunny, and yeah, we're going to use some biochar and some compost, and it's just part of our community vegetable plot where we're growing potatoes and pumpkins for ourselves for the winter.
And Amy lives with Luke up here in Karingal Cluster, and they've got a beautiful family and have just renovated their house. And yeah, are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's wonderful. We bought a little house that was built in the 1980s and just renovated it, and it's really warm now. We've put in a oven that heats our water and the radiators, and we're really toasty.
Okay, what brought you to Moora, Amy?
Luke and I, before we had kids, we just come from Canada, where we've been working on a community-supported agriculture farm, and that, we wanted to run a community-supported agriculture project, and we were travelling around Australia looking for somewhere, and we came woofing to Moora, and yeah, Moora, the people at Moora were really, really enthusiastic about us running a CSA project here. So we did. So there was this beautiful 1 acre of land here that had been fenced and looked after and set aside for growing vegetables. So it was kind of perfect for us, and it's got beautiful, like 1 metre deep, rich mountain soil. So yeah, Luke and I did that for about 10 years and grew vegetables, and people would buy a share in the harvest, and we'd supply at our peak about 50 boxes of vegetables to families per week. Yeah.
We would welcome more farmers to Moora if anyone is interested in regenerative agriculture or just, you know, running their own plots. We actually lease some of this land to a gardener who runs a market garden here, and you know, some of us purchase the veggies back from here. But there's space for more growing. We've also got a project at the moment where we're putting up a huge orchard, and yeah, just growing more food for the community and getting better infrastructure so it doesn't all get eaten by the deer, the rabbits, the rats, the birds, the mice, and everything else.
Great.
Welcome, Beck, to the show.
The show.
The show.
The Chelsea and
The show. The show around show. So, Beck's lived here for quite some time and has recently just bought a house. What brought you here and to this?
Yeah, well,
time?
I came because of my daughter, really. So I came with my partner, ex-partner, and just having a place for kids, you know, it's so appealing to have a place where kids can be free range, and she's an only child, so it was really appealing to have other kids around to kind of be with all the time. So sense of space, nature, feeling sustainable, all of that felt really, really good from the beginning. And now, unusually enough, so her dad, my daughter's dad, is still up here.
Yeah.
And she just gets to be between two houses.
Yeah.
And gets this kind of sense of sort of stability and community around her, which has been really positive. Yeah.
Our kids are playing together right now.
They
They're
are,
running
indeed.
around. It's so lovely.
Yeah.
And you just bought Amber's house?
I did just buy Amber's house.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful house, few plans, but yeah, no, feels really wonderful to have a home.
And what area of Moora do you get involved in mostly?
So I'm on the Reach Out group.
Oh, would you like to introduce the Reach Out group, what that is?
Sure.
Yeah.
So the idea of the Reach Out group is to reach out to people that might be struggling somehow, having some trouble in their life, having conflict with the community, somewhat disengaged from the community, and just see what's going on and how to support them. And then to run things that kind of bring us together, bring kind of sense of connection, run some kind of training around how to communicate navigate conflict differently, mediate conflict. Yeah.
It's a really important group, I think.
Yeah, it is an important group. We did some training yesterday that I feel renewed inspiration about the importance of that for community building. I feel quite inspired, actually.
Is the Ongo group part of that training?
Not directly, no, but I think that's been fantastic. Yeah, so non-violent communication kind of springing from that. Seems like it's been really wonderful. Yeah.
Oh, and you're also a director of Moora?
I am also a director of Moora. Yes, we're directors together at the moment, which is...
We're going for gender equity, which is great.
Yeah, working towards gender equity. Yeah, so that feels good to step up and do that for a while. Good group, feels like we can work together well, which feels really positive.
Perhaps, would you explain a little bit about our directorship, how we function for the people this is for people who have never been here before. So.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So there's 7 directors and they get nominated every 12 months. And a really nice, so they've got some kind of leadership role at Moora, particularly for decisions that are kind of more time urgent, sometimes more kind of sensitive things that need to be resolved more quickly. The directors will meet once a month and talk about it and kind of make those decisions. The community as a whole still has really direct involvement in bigger, more permanent decisions, so that would come to monthly meetings, but the directors kind of do the in-between stuff. And really nice kind of culture up here. I think that it rotates quite often, that people will do a couple of years maybe and then switch around so often. Most kind of longer term members have probably been directors at some point, would you say?
I would say so. I think, some people are not fond of meetings and that's not how they choose to contribute very much, but, they might be more practical. But some people are better at meetings, and I think it's where your skill set lies. So some probably have never been a director, but probably most, I would say.
Yeah.
So we have lots of committees here and lots of ways to contribute. And I think that it's important to be involved in these things when you're here and contribute where you can, and you get a lot out of it, I think. The skills I've gained being a director over the years in management, I guess, and just meeting protocols and non-violent communication and all that sort of stuff is pretty amazing for life, and has travelled into my work and helped me,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Being able to work with people. But there's something about it rotating, because you can the power doesn't go to your head, because it's only 2 years, and you still remember what it's like to not be a director and have the decisions being made for you a little bit. And it feels like sort of humbling, I guess, to be making decisions for the whole of the community that you love. It's really good learning.
Committees each have a budget too, and they have the ability to spend up to $1,000 without bringing, proposals to a meeting. So that there's empowerment in the small committee areas, and anyone can bring a proposal to a directors meeting and then have it heard, but it must be supported by 5 different members at the beginning to make sure that it's kind of worth the time invested.
Yeah, there's a bit of interest in it, huh? Yeah. So it's nice. And I like that. I remember when I first came and just being encouraged to find, like, where do you feel like you can contribute? I feel like that's a big part of Moora, right? Like, work to your skills or work out which committee you feel like you've got energy for. And it's nice, huh? There's a lot of different ways to contribute that valued. Yeah.
Thanks, Beck.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Hello, Cass.
Hey, Chelsea, how you doing?
Good. Hello, Aisha. There's a
the tiny little person under
little
there.
person in there. Little, you can just see the mop of hair.
Yes, she has a lot of hair.
And look at you go. I, really trust that you're not going to overextend your
I'm
body
listening
right
to my
now.
body. Yes, I'm taking it nice and slow.
Yeah.
Staying vertical.
Yeah. So Cass is, she lives at Mudburra and has a tiny, beautiful little home there.
Yes.
The skylight to the heavens.
I fell in love with the house at least half as much as the cluster, but I love the cluster in general. Gets the best snow, you know, it's...
Yes, snow.
It's quiet at the moment, but it's,
Did you get out in the snow this year?
I couldn't, because the one day it snowed was the day she arrived.
I remember we were wondering if you were going to make it to the hospital.
I know, it was
you had to
crazy.
Drive through the...
Yeah, I actually ended up going down early, but I thought it was a bit of a portent that not only did she have snow on the morning, that she arrived, but within 24 hours there was an earthquake. So she's had a very eventful entry into the world.
Wow. Yeah. And so what's your thoughts of Moora? What interested you in coming here, and how does it feel?
Well, I first heard of Moora a few years ago, but I had a cat, and it was one of the things on the website that made me go, oh, I can't bring my cat. Yeah. And at the time, it was like that was a no-go. And then I came up here, met somebody who lived here, and came up for the first time. I was just stunned at how beautiful the drive was, and that was like, oh my goodness, this is a place that people are living. I knew it existed, but I didn't realise it was this good. So I was just basically in love with it from the first time I came up, and pretty much that was the beginning of the pandemic, and I kind of snuck in just before the first lockdown. Yeah. and I really haven't left, and found my own little niche, and love the cluster that I'm in. Really enjoy the vibe up there, and looking forward to becoming a full member. Hopefully early next year. If all goes well.
Awesome. Yep. I think it's so nice when, for someone who's lived here for so long, when someone comes and sees it with fresh eyes and it's just got that wow factor.
Just blown away.
Such a great reminder of how privileged we are to be here.
Well, I think a lot of people don't even realise that this is possible, and it's so close to Melbourne, and yet it's like another world. But it's so accessible. So I think when they first set this place up, 7, however many years it was, the original founders just really picked a great spot, set it up really well, and it's still going now. It's amazing. And such good people.
It's a good testament to to how you build on a structure, I think, to make it safe. Like for me, you know, it's a safe investment because it's, we've got a very, very strong holding and protocols and policies. And for me, I feel really grateful for that.
Yeah, same. Yeah, very lucky to be here.
So welcome, Aisha.
And welcome to Aisha. Hopefully she will enjoy growing up here and having, there was a little tiny noise there. Hopefully the mic got that one.
Thanks, Cass.
You're welcome.
All right.